Hello, everyone. This is going to be fairly quick video exclusive. I think the 10th for September 2025, because I've got a interview coming up with the author of Fireboy for my Constitutionalist show. I got to record in a few minutes. So, Trump derangement syndrome. There seems to be Sydney Sweeney derangement syndrome. There is RFK Jr. derangement syndrome. There is MAHA derangement syndrome. And I want to address the MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, just to be anti-Trump, just to be anti-RFK Jr. The Tylenol thing is getting blown way out of the proportion. Can we apply some common sense? Please, you morons with TDS. Just because Trump says something, you gotta go overboard the other way. So first, let me talk about red dye number 5. Okay? Right? We survived fine without the synthetic chemical colorings. And now that we're asking, like Fruit Loops in India doesn't have any of that stuff. You're doing it abroad. We're not asking anything difficult or special for you to remove that crap from the stuff in the U.S. This isn't difficult. If you leftist idiots want to, I don't know if it's a powder or it's a liquid. So if you morons want to buy it by the bucket or the barrel or the gallon and consume red dye number 5 directly intravenously fed into your veins, knock yourself out. But for the rest of society, we want health back. And I am for choice, unlike you leftists that use choice only as a dodge for murdering babies in the womb. I am for choice. I want both Fruit Loops on the shelf, the healthier version and the chemical red dye number 5 version. If you want to buy that with your own money. If you earn your own money, you buy what you want. If you're getting handouts from us, we have a say, and no, we're not going to pay for the unhealthy stuff because then we're paying 100 times worse and more on the Medicare and Medicaid side of things for your unhealthiness. Now, before I talk about the Tylenol nonsense, let me talk about baby powder, talcum powder. Countless decades, centuries even, billions upon billions upon billions of people using talcum powder without issue. But all of a sudden, some who use, overuse, misuse, abuse something, claim it causes cancer, file a lawsuit. Everybody is supposed to suffer for a small percentage of people who misuse and abuse something. No, it doesn't cause cancer. But, yes, some people might be problematic with 5G. Some people may be problematic with spike proteins. Some people may be problematic with this, that, or the other. Some people, not all people. All people do not have to suffer for because of the some people. The baby powder thing. If you've misused and abused it, maybe it contributed, didn't cause, contributed because of other factors like that you misused it, abused it, you got cancer, that's on you. Sorry, tough love, that's on you, not the product. Water. Let's talk what, right? Alcohol, right? Everyone knows drink too much alcohol, alcohol poisoning. Real easy to understand. What a lot of people don't know, and trust but verify. Don't take my word for it. Look it up for yourself, especially you morons on the left. Water. Anything in proper use. Vitamins. Not enough vitamins, bad. Too much of a vitamin also can be bad. Not enough of a mineral, bad. Too much of a mineral can be bad and negative for the body. Water. Not enough water, bad, very bad. Dehydrated. Too much water can kill you. Moderation. Common sense. Use your brains. Right? Water. Some people took a water challenge, drank too much water. I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to play one. I don't remember, but I am aware of the deaths, that it causes the blood to be too thin or whatever, and something goes wrong. Too much water in too short a period of time can kill you. It's not the fault of the water. It's the fault of the morons, not food. Not enough food, emancipated, not emancipated, emaciated, right? Not enough food, not enough nutrition can kill you. Too much food, obese, overweight, all kinds of problems due to that can kill you. Moderation. This is common sense. It's the same thing with the talk about Tylenol. Look it up. Tylenol and Advil. I forget which. Right? One, too much of it. Misuse it. Abuse it. Can harm the kidney. The other, too much of it. Misuse it. Abuse it. Bad for the liver. Common sense is all we're talking here. Stop using and abusing things. I have had a car accident, so I have had a neck and back issues due to the issue, right? But I cannot continually pop Tylenol and Advil because it could harm my kidney and liver. Misusing, abusing this notion from the TV propaganda. Have any minor ache and pain? Just pop some pills. Just pop some pills. They're perfectly safe. Nothing that is synthetic is perfectly safe. Nothing. This is common sense. This is not difficult to understand for people who have functioning brain cells. But those with Trump derangement syndrome, those with RFK Jr. derangement syndrome, now that we're talking, only take Tylenol or Advil or anything for that matter, that's synthetic medication, when you really need it. It can have negative impacts. There are certain things that have been around for 100 plus years, like aspirin and penicillin and ivermectin, HCQS, that have been proven over a long time to be safe and effective, but even those can be overused and abused and have negative impacts. Things like come into existence more recently. Have you ever been on a medication trial study? I have. There's a reason why when I was younger and healthier, I still had a thyroid problem back then, taking thyroid medication. Well, thyroid or cholesterol low dose medications A lot of people have those problems on those drugs. So you're not disqualified from a trial study, but there's a reason they do trial studies with people relatively healthy. They don't want to check their drug against other drugs. Their drug might be okay on its own, but with a cocktail of other drugs, and it is impossible for them to test as a cocktail with and against other drugs, this drug, that drug, the other drug, that drug, this, that, blah, 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 blah. It's impossible to test anything. So a drug that's only been created and used the last 50, 75 years hasn't had long-term generational understandings and considerations. The FCC, no, the FDA, the FCC, Himmel. Don't get me started on that. Nexstar and Sinclair finally discovering their contractual power and control of their own local market and won't air it, even though the parent company is going to return it. That's called market control and local control. It's not an FCC dictate. He's coming back. The local stations are protecting their own local markets, not going to show his garbage anymore. But the FDA has approved things, thought it's safe, and pulled them from market later because time shows things that the local or that the original clinical trial studies didn't show. Over time, potential negative side effects can be discovered that aren't shown at the when first created. Only time reveals the negative side effects. It's the same thing here with Tylenol. No one, you lying, you know what, is saying never take Tylenol. No one is saying that. Stop lying. It is pregnant women who have a child to be concerned with, and effects of things on fetuses not thoroughly studied. It is now suggested only take anything, not just Tylenol, anything, unless you really need it. And if you have a fever and you need it, take it. But any minor ache and pain, deal with it. Again, I mentioned my accident. I am an author. Sometimes if I'm putting pressure on myself to write a chapter or to do something regarding a book, I get pain in my neck and shoulders. The answer isn't just pop Tylenols like Pez candy all day long. It's deal with the root cause. My stress. Reduce my stress. The pain goes away. This isn't hard to understand. This is really simple common sense for people with functional brain cells, right? I don't have the pain yet, even though you're getting Raging Joe here. If I go at this too long, yeah, I'll get head, neck, shoulder pain because I'm stressing myself. Popping the pill isn't necessary. I don't have a fever, so I shouldn't pop the pill for minor ache and pain. I meant to bring as a prop, I forgot, lidocaine. I got roll-on lidocaine, right? Localized pain relief. Using and abusing that would be bad too. But doing that, local application rather than taking a pill, which then goes all through the bloodstream to parts of the body not necessary, and or trying to block pain receptors in the brain because of a shoulder ache. Dumb idea. That's not controversial. That's common sense. Apply lidocaine. These are common sense. Stop with the TV boob tube propaganda. Pop a pill, pop a pill, pop a pill, pop a pill. At the first sign of anything, pop a pill. Use your brain. Only use anything if you really need it, not just at the first sign of anything out of convenience thinking everything must be perfectly fine and safe and no problem, no matter how much you abuse the product. That's the problem here. Overuse, over-reliance, abuse of things, abuse of food, obesity, problems, abuse of outright. A glass of wine on occasion is good for the circulatory system. A box of wine every damn day is a problem. You're an alcoholic. That's bad. That has negative problems and connotations. Eating at McDonald's 3 meals a day, every day of the week, abuse, overuse, bad, things in moderation, common sense. Common sense is all we're here talking about. Stop with the lies. Again, no one is saying never take Tylenol. What is being said, be cautious, especially if you're pregnant. Only take it if you really need it, because unless something's been on the market for a couple hundred years, like aspirin or penicillin, we don't know the generational and longer term effects. That's all being said here. Common sense thinking, not knee-jerk emotional TDS nonsense. Removing mercury from vaccines. Mercury, a toxin. It was put in because a preservative was needed. It was determined mercury had preservative, right? I had cancer. I was given arsenic in low doses. Low doses can help treat a problem. Too much kills you. Mercury, same thing. They thought low dose as a preservative in vaccines to preserve the vials. Okay. But all these years later, there are other alternatives. Why is mercury still in the vials? Get the mercury. This is common sense. When I was younger, there was like a dozen, right? Measles, mumps, polio, tuberculosis, actual real vaccines that made 99% of those who got it immune from what you were being inoculated. Not like the Wuhan hysteria that is just a flu shot. It is not a vaccine. It is a flu shot. It does not make anyone immune to anything. There is a difference. And spreading out vaccines, does it cause autism? Does it cause this or that? No. But it is common sense that if you don't need to force, like the baby powder thing, you don't need so much of it. Stop using and abusing so much of it if you're not at risk for whatever the vaccine is for until you're later in life. You don't need it by age 6 to go to school then. You could get it in middle school or high school. It is just common sense to spread these things out. Does it cause autism? No. But some people, it may be a contributing factor. Contributing factor does not mean cause. And it is just common sense to not take the risk. Don't take the chance. If the child doesn't need that vaccine till middle school, don't be giving it to the child. Give the child the measles, the mumps, the polio, the tuberculosis, the big ones, right? I recently got the shingles shot because I know people who got shingles. It's miserable. It's horrible. I don't want to take that chance. So I got the shingles shot, which is effective like in like 90% or again, I'm not a doctor. I didn't look it up exactly, but it's less effective than a traditional vaccine, but it's a real vaccine. It makes most that get the double shot immune from getting shingles. I don't want shingles. I got the shots. I'm not anti-vax. I'm pro common sense. If you don't need it, get it later. You don't get the shingles shot as a child. You're only at risk as an adult. You get it as an adult. This is common sense. Use your brain. Stop with the emotional hysterics, Trump derangement syndrome idiocy. So leftists, please red dye number 5 yourself into oblivion if you want. But for the rest of it, it's about time we make America healthy again. I hope I remembered to get everything in here. Again, Tylenol, not bad. Tylenol cause autism? No, no one is saying that. No one. It can be a contributing factor to negative effects on the fetus if you abuse it, if you overuse it, if you misuse it. The same with the example with water, with alcohol, with food, with any other medication. Misuse and abuse is the problem here. That's all the common sense thing being talked about here. Stop lying, you leftists and the media. Stop lying about what we're saying. It's just common sense. So, I apologize for going Raging Joe on you again there. This is too important. I should have delivered it in a much calmer fashion, but I'm upset. Can you tell? I'm upset. What am I upset about? The lies. The left. Lie, 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 lie. We want people to be healthier and live longer. People in America, our current generations, are projected to die younger than the generation that came before them for the first time in centuries. Why? Because we're overusing, misusing, and abusing things. We're only talking common sense here. We want you healthy. We want you to live a long and productive life, happy life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. It's hard to pursue happiness. I'm on disability. Ask me if you have health problems. It's hard to pursue happiness if you're unhealthy. I know. I'm not happy about it, that I have health issues. I'd rather be working, earning my 6-figure salary still, rather than struggling by on my disability budget. Common sense. Can we use it for a change? Again, this stuff is too important. I should have just delivered it in a calmer fashion. But please, again, I hate to be the parrot. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Play on a cracker. But this is important stuff. Do you care about your friends and family? Share this. Share so they know the lies that are being told and the truth about what we're saying. Like, share, subscribe, spread the truth, the reality, the common sense, counter the lies, the endless lies of the media and the left. You have to be involved by liking, sharing, and subscribing and spreading the truth. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. I gotta go because, like I said, I'm talking with blah 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 blah. Where'd it go? Doggone it. Edward Willett, author of Fireboy, a young adult's book. I got to interview him in like 5 minutes. So I got to go. Take care. God bless. Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help. Thank you for having tuned in for Constitutionalist Politics Show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold. If you have locally run bookstores still near you, they can order it for you. And let me remind, over time, the fancy high production items will come. But for now, for starters, it's just you as a very appreciated listener by me. All substance, no fluff, just straight to key discussion points. A show that looks at a variety of topics, mostly politics, through a Christian U.S. constitutionalist lens. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Take care. God bless.